Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Keith Andrew Network. This is episode 214. I'm here with the talented and beautiful Heather Krona, and I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Now, for people who want to know what uncensored is, uncensored is my way of showing people that even with a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities that you should never give up, and you should prove to people you can still mount something no matter what. That labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, and you should prove to people you can still mount something. Now, people who want to know why do I make the transition from wearing my normal glasses to the sunglasses, is because I like Gothic girls, and I interviewed everyone and everyone, actors, actresses, models, CEOs, professional wrestlers, dancers, everyone and everyone. And when I was growing up in high school, I had this thing about Gothic girls. And I'm like, well, I talked to everyone and everyone, why not create a new segment? So I created my own introduction for the Gothic girls, Gothics. I call it GWO, because I'm a fan of the NWO. That's the wrestling thing, if people don't know. So it's GWO, Gothic World Order. I thought it's funny. And my videos are black and white, because I want it to be different. And, that's why. But I interview everyone and everyone, but everyone knows about that after 214. With that being said, I'm here with the beautiful and talented Heather Krona. And starting off, what can you tell us about yourself?
I'm 34. I live in Tacoma, Washington. I was born and raised in Georgia. Macon specifically, which if you're a Walking Dead fan, seems to be like where they have Terminus located. I moved away from home whenever I was 18 to the North Metro Atlanta area, and I lived there for over a decade before moving out to Tacoma. I met my husband through playing World of Warcraft. It's a game that I still play. He plays on and off. He is currently away in Alaska working, and I miss him greatly. I'm also a mom of two, a stepmom of two. All four are girls. My two are not currently with me, and it's a kind of sore subject, but I love them dearly. And I also have two fur babies, bunnies. And aside from bunnies, I love bats. So that's a brief rundown of me.
Well, some bats are cute.
Most bats are cute. Even the ones that are not cute are just so ugly they're cute.
Did you ever see a bat that looks like it looks like a dog? It has like a chihuahua face.
I'm not sure I've seen that one.
I have to send you a picture. It's really cute. It looks like a bat. It is a bat, but it has a dog face.
Interesting.
Hey, God works in mysterious ways, right? So I have no idea where that came from.
Bats are just cute. You can't go wrong with bats or bunnies.
That's true. I had a bat dive bomb me once. Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, they do that, and I've had that happen a couple times with me, usually whenever I'm sitting outside at dusk time, and it's usually because there's a bunch of like mosquitoes or other bugs, and bugs like to come around your face.
Right.
So the bats pick up that there's bugs near your face, so they're going to try and come near your face to get the bug.
Well, this when we were coming back, it was me and my sister and my mom. We were coming back from somewhere. It was at night. And I think we picked her up at the mall or something. This is when she was working at the Middletown Mall. And she said, "What's that on the car?" And she said, "I don't know, it's pitch black." So she walked towards the porch, and the light turned on, and this freaking thing dove at me, and all I saw was big beady eyes, big red beady eyes. I went, "Oh, yeah, what the hell was that?" That was ugly. Yeah, it was the most ugliest thing I ever saw. There's some bats are cute, but this one, I was like, holy shit. I don't know, I still have that image in my head, and that's like 20 years ago, and it's. Ugh.
I feel the same way about cockroaches. I cannot stand those things. They are not cute. They will never be cute. I will run screaming the other way if one is near me. So, and those have dive bombed me too. Living in Georgia, those cockroaches have wings, so they will fly at your face, and
Yeah.
they're not pretty. Bats are pretty. Those are not.
That's true. Actually, there's the one bird that you hear at night. I like the sound. It makes like a coo coo, and it's like, oh, it's an owl. But there's a certain sound where you know it's a bird, but it's like it's 10 at night. What the hell is a bird doing out at night? It's because besides the coo coo sound, it's trying to find remember what the sound was. It's a unique sound. It isn't normal, but it's something about it. You're like, it sounds pretty interesting. I don't want to see what it is, but it sounds really nice from a distance. If I look it up, if I come across it, I will let you know. It's something that starts with a C. C-O-R. I don't know. It's a night bird. I know you hear it at night.
Nothing's coming to mind on that right now, but if you figure out what it is, let me know.
Right. I know that doesn't help, but but I waited all year for the summer, and now I'm gonna wear these some more. Actually, I'm gonna trade back my glasses because I
Oh,
wear these and go back to my other glasses. They feel weird, and also it makes me look more professional too. I can do both.
of course.
But I waited all year to listen to the summer sounds. You know, the crickets, the tree frogs, um, the bird I was telling you about. I have no idea what it is, but it sounds nice from a distance. But you know, I like to keep things at arm's length when I don't know what it is. But you know, just certain things that like over the summer, it's nice. I remember I walked my dog Charlie in the front yard. I have a big property, so we came to a point where we couldn't let him out in the backyard because we had like 2 feet of snow. So we
Oh,
had to walk him in the front because that's where the guy plows. Even though we have to deal with the ice. Because he plows and it freezes is always a big thing. So I just remember walking on the grass during the winter and during like the spring. It would be cold as hell. It would be like in the 40s and the 30s. It would be dead silence. You can hear a pin drop. That's how quiet and eerie it was.
silence can be really creepy.
Right.
Sometimes, whenever it's too quiet, that's whenever I start looking around like, okay, what's going on? Why is it quiet? What's causing things to be so still? But silence is good sometimes.
Right.
I have with my anxiety and everything else, and my brain just sometimes doesn't turn off. And it's gotten to the point where anymore I can't go to sleep unless I have in earplugs and I have on some kind of face mask
Oh,
to
you
block.
too?
I have tried several different eye masks, and I finally found one that's like a full head mask that's super soft to lay on. It doesn't have the stretchy band that knots up in the back and winds up cutting off circulation. This one's a really nice one, and it blocks everything out. And with my earplugs in and that on, I can fall asleep in 5-10 minutes tops. But without that, I will lay in bed and I will toss and turn for 2-3 hours before I can fall asleep.
Alright. Well, let's play this game if you don't mind.
Okay.
I will tell you my reason why I go to sleep with a night mask. I used to do earplugs, but my ears always clog up. So I don't do that. Also, I put it in my ear a little too deep and I couldn't get it out. That's another stupid reason why I don't use it. That was my fault. But I tell you the reason I go sleep with the night mask. It held that old transition. It's an interesting story, but this is your time. How did... I know this is random, and I like to make every interview different.
No,
But,
you said it uncensored. Anything goes, so
well, that's the theme,
censored.
uncensored, anything else. But, it's the whole thing about talk show I can get into in a little bit. How come you go sleep with night mask, and what was the reason? Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Like, when you were younger, did you go to sleep with the TV on, with the fan going, or how did a night mask come about?
I used to not be able to go to sleep unless I had on a radio or a TV. So until like a year ago, I had the TV on going. The only time I would ever go to sleep without the TV on would be if I had a migraine. That's when everything had to be shut out completely, no light, no sound, nothing. But my migraines have lessened over the years. I don't get them as frequently. So usually sleeping was just have the TV on, set the timer. Eventually I'd fall asleep, and it's because I needed that background noise. But then enter bunnies that are in this cage back here. It was a smaller cage, and it was just one bunny last year. And about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, Tribble, the bunny that I had, the one bunny at the time, Tribble decided he needed to be awake and he needed to dig, which bunnies dig naturally. It's one of the things that they're a burrowing critter.
Right.
So he would dig on his plastic bottom cage, and I would wake up. And by that point in time, the TV had gone off. Now I'm just awake, and if you've been asleep for a while and you wake up, your room is the brightest thing going on, whether you've got lights on or not. But especially if you've got any alarm clocks or other electronics that might have lights that just stay on, like the computer, certain things plugged in to the USB drives, they emit like a blue light or a red light.
Yes.
Those lights were very bothersome, and I was not getting a lot of sleep at all. And I couldn't go back to sleep because my brain was going. I'd turn on the TV to try and go back to sleep, and it was ruined. So I got earplugs to start with, but if I happened to wake up and notice the light in the room, I would wake up too much. So I got myself an eye mask. And then I got myself a couple of other different eye masks because some of the elastic would go too loose and it wouldn't stay on, or I'd rip it off in the middle of the night. And it's just become one of those things that I cannot go to sleep. Like after, it's like finding the perfect medicine for a problem. Like you get headaches, as an example, say you get headaches all the time. You take
Right.
Tylenol. It works some, but not a lot. Then you try ibuprofen, and it works better, but there's still something off. And then finally you try Aleve, and it works perfect. It takes away the headache. So originally, sleeping would be the headache. The problem happened. I tried Tylenol, which was just earplugs. It worked some, but not completely solving the problem. I tried ibuprofen, adding in the mask. It worked better, but there were still problems because I kept taking the mask off. Then my Aleve was finding the right mask earplug combination, and now if I try and sleep without them, like it's too much commotion. Brain will not stop. Thoughts going everywhere. And I tried last night even to fall asleep with earplugs out and mask off, and I tossed and turned for 2 hours, and I was like, fuck it, I've got to get the earplugs. I've got to get the eye mask. As soon as I put it on, I was out in 5 minutes.
For me, it was more like... Actually, I do got something I want to show you first. I was going to return it, but the more, I work on the weekend, and it's a Hot Topic bag. I bought this thinking, hey, I wanted to have like a bracelet, and if you want, you can buy it from me. I really don't know what it is. It's like, it's this. I don't know if you can see it. It has like spikes on it or whatever. And it's first off, it's too big going around my wrist. See, like
You want to know what I think it looks like?
a necklace, right?
It looks like a choker, like a collar.
And that's another thing. I have a fat neck, so it's kind of like, okay, it doesn't even go around my neck. I can do a vest, but then it looks ridiculous. But I don't know. I have no idea what this stupid thing is. If you want, you can buy it from me. But, it's no... See, like, I can't, if I do, I'm going to cut off circulation to my head. Anyway, I had this, I just wanted to show you. But if you want, you can buy it from me. I can get it for like $5 or something. You never use except for this. But it's called, it's from a company called Blackheart. So,
I've heard of it before.
yeah, $10 well spent, right? Anyway, the reason I got it was because we were going to Comic-Con. And I said I wanted to just wear all black. And so I had the gauntlet, had my belt with the spikes. Now that's the spikes, the plates, the silver. It's a black with the silver plates. Actually, I can show you what it is. And we're going, and I can go dress up, or I can go wear my own outfit.
I had a belt like that when I was 18.
I think I had this one.
Yeah, I had like that exact belt whenever I was 18.
You should rebuy it.
I got it from Hot Topic.
And but I said, if people want to take me professionally, I can't go wearing all that. So I'm not wearing all black, and I'm not wearing my jacket. And you see my pictures if you go to the KeithAndrewNetWork.com on Facebook. You get to see all my pictures. Just doing a little plug. But going back to on the subject, why I go sleep with a night mask and how that came about. One reason my brother hated sharing the room with me was I always went with the TV. I always wanted the TV on. I always went to sleep with the TV on. Had to be on for whatever the reason was. And that was like from, let's see, I moved in this exact room, kind of remember, So wait, I usually don't do my interviews this late.
That's fine.
From 1990. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I usually wind up messing things up everywhere I go anyway. I wind up causing things to be done out of order or completely different than what they're supposed to be done. I apologize.
Don't worry about it. Like I said, normal conversation, making a new friend out of it. And I like to make each interview different too. But from 1990 to 91, me and my brother shared a room until about 2006. Actually, we shared a room until 97. My sister went to college. Don't ask me why, but my parents went with us. My sister's at college. The room was sitting vacant. Like, well, I had my room with my two other brothers. Why do we have to share the room with Keith? There's an empty room in blah blah blah's at college. When I'm going there, and they nagged my parents, so they got what they wanted. So I shared the room with my sister. Don't ask me why. Now it's creepy. Still is. I don't know why. Well, we're not in the South. No,
Hey now.
No disrespect. But it's if you think about it, it's really something wrong with it. But again, no disrespect. And it's so my sister came back and shared room, and this is about 2001. After she was done in college, I came back in here, and then I basically room top from 90 to 97. I was in here. Then I was in my sister's room. 97 to about 2000, 2001. I got thrown out of that room back in here. So I was basically being thrown out of every single room. Anyway, that's a little drama of my life. But during the time I shared with my brother in his room, I always went to sleep with and my sister for that matter. I always went to sleep with the TV on. Had to be on no matter what. And there were times like, well, we're not having the TV on. Shut up and go to sleep. You ever, for people who want to know what silence is, put your fingers in your ears and you hear like this faint humming, like this faint noise. It's really hard to explain what it is.
For me, whenever I do that, it's kind of that dull hum, but it's also kind of a whirring, whooshy sound. And it's because it's your heartbeat. It's the blood flowing through every part of your body, especially right in that area is where you're hearing it. And I like to say it's my thoughts that won't stop.
It's sometimes now it doesn't bother me. Back then it used to scare the shit out of me. I hated it, so I had to go sleep with the TV on. When I was in my sister's room, I tried going to sleep one day. This is about 2003, my freshman year, sophomore year. Like I said, we were room hopping. They move in, they move out, and so whatever. But one night, I was like, I can't go to sleep. I'm tossing and turning. I turned the TV off. I'm like, huh. Funny, it doesn't bother me as it once did. One day, this is my next subject I want to ask you, is do you believe in life after death?
Simple answer, yes. I believe there is life after death, but I'm still trying to figure out for myself exactly what I believe that life after death is or how it happens. I was raised Christian. I was baptized whenever I was 10. My mom also passed away when I was 10.
I'm sorry.
So, especially right after I was baptized, I really started questioning a lot about Christianity, about if God was real, if he was real, why would he allow a 10-year-old girl to watch her mom suffer through cancer for 5 years and then pass away. And then it was just a series of multiple things that just compiled over the years after that, that I just started questioning and I started researching, and that's why I say I'm pagan. I guess you can say I have practiced witchcraft, but I'm not Wiccan.
Right.
There is a difference in a witch and a Wiccan. It's one of those kind of SAT questions where they compare stuff. All Wiccans are witches, but not all witches are Wiccan. And I've looked at numerous different religions, some of them that are also based off of, like, I've looked at Mormonism, I've looked at Judaism, I've looked at Muslim, I've looked a little bit into Buddhism and Taoism. Those are kind of confusing a little bit to me, but within the pagan, pagans, it's a very broad heading. You get your Celtic, your Norse, your Egyptian, any other kind of what people would consider folklore or mythology, and we consider it to be myths now.
Right.
But back in the days where people were worshiping, that was not a myth, that was their reality. And I started trying to put myself in their place, like, well, what if that was my reality? So in everything, to the point that I'm at now, I'm not going to be like other pagans, or I also kind of identify with atheism a little bit. Sometimes I'm just like, is any of it really real? Or is it just all like something in our head that we need something to hold on to, so we make believe and make it up and feed into it? But I do believe that God is there, the Christian God. I believe that He's there. I don't believe He's the only one. I believe in reincarnation. I don't necessarily believe that reincarnation has to immediately happen, like where you die and then you're immediately reborn. I believe that there can be hundreds of years before you're reborn. And in that time, because you're not ready to be reborn again, you might be a spirit or an entity wandering around. So I believe in ghosts. I guess you could say I believe in demons, but not quite in the Christian idea of demons. I believe they're negative, vengeful entities out there. I wouldn't necessarily say that they are a demon, but that would be like the closest thing to a demon that I would believe in. But yeah, I don't believe that whenever we die that it's over. I think we just keep progressing, and it's kind of that whole thing of you keep having your multiple lives until you've gained all the knowledge that you need before you kind of transcend into what, I don't know what you transcend into, but yeah, I can't believe that whenever we die, we're just dead and that's it.
No, the reason I bring it up, and that's how I wear the night mask, is one night I got a visitor, and I got this blinding light. You know, for people who want to know what it is, they want to reenact it, put a flashlight in your face. Like, I mean, right away, like, on your eye. That's I'm talking about the brightest thing possible. Put it right in your face. And that's what I saw. You know, I put my hands over my face. I still saw the light. I went, that's still saw the light. Buried my face in my pillow and the blanket. still sore. And so I went like this, so I was so freaking annoyed. I was like, son of a, what is it? I went like this, because I couldn't see. I sort of got it, and I felt like I elbowed someone. And after I went this and elbowed the person, it disappeared, and it was kind of like an eerie feeling. And I was like, you know what? I don't want any more of that. So since then, I've been going to sleep with a night mask on my face. It's like, if I don't see it, it doesn't bother me. It's the earplugs I tried, but I keep on waking up with my ears clogged, and I jam it too far in my ear ones. I couldn't get it out. That scared the crap out of me. So I was like, okay, if I listen, fine, but I don't have to see it. But that's basically how the night mask for me came about. To the TV, to, I listened to the radio, but then that started to keep me up, to the night mask. I don't know. But now, I go to sleep with the night mask, and I have my fan on. Because I have to have, like, something, white noise.
Yeah. Whenever I've had to have the TV on or the radio or whatever, I've had a fan on. A fan sound is more annoying than not having anything on for me. I've had friends that have had white noise machines that have recommended them. I'm like, what does it sound like? And they're like, oh, well, it kind of sounds like a fan. I'm like, then it wouldn't be good for me.
Well, you have to think about it. It's like you can't focus on, okay, it's a fan. When I listen to the fan, I imagine I'm on the beach, and when the fan rums up and it goes back down, I pretend that's the waves coming on the beach. You just have to be open-minded. But I understand, if it's like, okay, it's just a fan, it gets irritating. But that makes your brain think. But if you're just relaxing and just trying think of nothing, it's more soothing. But, I asked you some hard-hitting questions. For listeners, I make every interview different. Season 1, I asked about, gay rights, where do you stand on transsexuals, where do you stand on gun rights, where do you stand on this, where do you go on that. And I was like, well, I don't want season 2 to be different. It'll be the same. It's like, well, season 2, I'm following the same product, the format, just BSing, just talking. We talk about everything and everything. And now I'm going to pass the show over to you with the last 6 minutes left. And you can ask me anything you want, talk about anything you want. And it's just, I might go back to my season 4. When I begin season 4, I go back to the book and ask hard-hitting questions. But, season 2 and 3, I started with this format. I might as well carry it out and make it different. Like I said, every interview is different, number one. And it depends on the person. Sometimes, it's a good interview and it's long. If it's a crappy person who I'm talking to, I may take it 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but it depends on the chemistry. So, long story short, every interview is different. But with that being said, 6 minutes left. I'm passing it back to you. You can say anything you want, talk about anything you want, and it's your time after all.
Well, one question I do have is I keep hearing a squeak. Do you have a pet bird?
No, I did not.
Oh, I keep hearing something that sounds like a bird in the background. I don't know. So.
I have my fan going.
Oh. Well, do you have any pets?
Yes, I have 1 poodle and 5 cats.
Oh, I like cats. I grew up with cats, but over the years I developed an allergy to cats, and it just got progressively worse. And it's one of those, even if I go over to a friend's house, if they have even one cat. It doesn't matter how well they clean their house, how well they hide the litter box. I I can't stay very long whenever I go over to their house because I will have severe issues. But they are cute. They are cuddly. I like petting them. If I do go over to a friend's house where they have a cat, I will totally pet the cat and rub on the cat. But then as soon as I am done, I will like beeline straight to a sink so that I can wash my hands before I accidentally touch my face. But um, on the subject of pets, I guess, is there a pet that you want that you just haven't had a chance to get yet, or you've decided against, or
Um, well, my parents are obsessed with poodles. So the type of dog I do want to get, it's what was it? There's a couple. I love dogs. I love cats. But if I had to choose, I guess one of the police dogs I like. Those are really nice. Um,
the German Shepherds?
yes, thank you. A Dalmatian, who are pretty cute. A Golden Retriever. When I go walk around the lake, I haven't done that as of late. I've been busy. Usually when I do my exercise, I walk around the lake. There's this woman who has a great mastiffs.
Oh, Mastiffs are my heart. I would love to have an English Mastiff, but my husband has vetoed that out just because they are so huge and they would require so much food. Even though he agrees they are nice looking dogs, and from what I understand, they are super loving to whoever they belong to, they're protective. They're actually great apartment dogs as long as you're able to get them out and walk them. It's just they require so much food and they do take up a lot of space. But I love Mastiffs. But I'm definitely a dog person. Whenever my husband and I get a chance to move, hopefully later this year, whenever he's back from Alaska, once we get situated in, we're going to get a dog or two. And this will be the first dog that I've had in maybe 15, 20 years. Just because from 18 on, I bounced around. I was never able to like be somewhere longer than a year or two, or there was restrictions on if you could have pets in certain apartments. And before 18, I had a couple of dogs, and one was ran over, and I was crushed by that. And then I got a replacement dog. There was no way to replace the dog that got ran over, but I got another dog to try and cheer me up and get me back into being happier again. And that dog a year later had severe medical issues and had to be put down. And that was when I was maybe 15, 16. So I haven't had a dog since, but I've wanted one. And my husband and I tend to like the larger dogs. He's pushing for a pit bull, which I'm fine with. I like pit bulls. Or a boxer. I really want an English bulldog.
What's the American one or the British?
The British one, the English bulldog, that have like the short, stumpy faces. They're just so cute. That, or I want an Italian Greyhound, which I'm gonna say is like the Jenna Marbles dog. I don't know if you're familiar with Jenna Marbles, the YouTube celebrity chick person. She makes really funny videos, but she has the cutest little Italian Greyhound that she named Kermit, and I don't know, it's a cute dog. But where I'm at right now, since I couldn't have dogs here, I was allowed to have a bunny, and then one bunny became two bunnies. So I have bunnies right now until we're able to get into a house, and then we'll start looking for a dog. And yeah, that was really random too. So let's see, questions.
I got one for you. Do you have any funny stories you'd like to share? When I got my dog Charlie, if I remember it correctly, Singapore, on his birth certificate, it says Sir Charles of Monroe.
Funny story concerning animals. I
Well,
guess
that's overall. If you have any funny stories,
I'm sure I do, but I'm not thinking of anything right offhand. I can tell you with the bunny, Tribble, whenever I first brought Tribble home, I was not, I read up on the care of bunnies and like what they eat, how they typically act, but you're not gonna really know how an animal is if you've never had one until
right?
you've been around it for a little while. Well, Tribble used to circle around my feet, just run laps around my feet. I'd stand in the middle of the room and he'd just run laps around my feet. Well, one day I moved and it scared him a little bit because I moved too quickly and he wasn't expecting it. And he jumped sideways and over. And as he jumped sideways and over, a string of bunny pellets came out. So it was one of those. I literally scared the shit out of him. It's just like, that's funny.
Okay, I got one for you. I used to have a Springer Spaniel. His name was Jax. Loved the dog. Dog had a lot of issues, though. My sister's friend, Mike, hid in the bathroom. Because he liked jumping out at people. So we called Jax. Told him, "I hear Jax, come here, come here." And dog came running for where he was upstairs, down the stairs. As he was coming around the corner into the kitchen, Mike jumps out and he does this. Jax runs up the stairs, runs down, runs back, runs down, spins around, and then he takes a shit on the step.
I've seen a puppy get really excited to see somebody, so much excitement that it would just squat down and pee. So, um, animals are funny if you watch them long enough. My husband has pet turtles that, of course, I'm looking after right now. And in the larger turtles tank, we used to have several fish. The turtle has eaten a couple over time. Some of them have just died because they're fish. There is no necessary reason for why they die. Not always. But the one that's in there right now with the turtle, there's one fish left, and it's an albino fish. It's the one that I picked out from the pet store when we were picking out fish. And the turtle was laying down on the bottom of the aquarium on her sand, and she was sleeping. And I looked over there, and up underneath her left arm, she had the fish, and she had her front arm kind of wrapped around the fish like she was hugging it like a teddy bear, and the fish was just laying there like this is perfectly fine. And it looked like the turtle had a teddy bear kind of thing going on, but with the fish. And I tried to get a picture of it. I think I posted that on Facebook. The picture. I got the camera too close to the aquarium front,
But
and the fish moved. So it was like right after the fish moved that the shot actually captured. But I told my husband about that, and he was in shock. He's like, I've never heard of a fish being cuddled by a turtle. Like, well, it happened. So.
Hey, animals are people too, so
Mhm.
I didn't realize turtles eat fish. Well, I know they eat, they have to eat, but I never seen it actually eat fish.
It depends on the turtle, but they do eat. They'll eat bugs. They'll eat insects. Some turtles will eat fish. Um, the turtle's favorite treat that we have is it's a little red pellet, and I don't know what all's in the little red pellet, but a lot of what's in it is shrimp. So we've had ghost shrimp in the tank with the turtle before, and she loves that. You'll get like 20 ghost shrimp, and they're these little tiny see-through shrimp, and there'll be 20 of them in there one day, and you'll wake up the next morning and there might be 7 left, and then the next morning there's none. So they are vegetation eaters, but they're also meat eaters.
Oh, they are dinosaurs.
Oh, there's a bunny now. Hang on a second. See? I got a bunny. This is Tribble.
That's a big ass rabbit.
He's just really fluffy.
Oh, that too. Oh, it's so cool. I never saw anything like that. That's amazing. It looks like a stuffed animal.
He is. He's my stuffed animal. He's super fluffy. He's got like a little emo hair puff.
Bunny, bunny, bunny. It's walking right at me now. Okay, be about like. No, my sister's friend has a little rabbits, and they're like these tiny little poof things. I never saw anything like that. That's amazing.
Yep.
It's like a cat.
He's shedding, and there's fur going everywhere right now. I don't think it's being picked up by the camera, but there is fur flying all over the place right now. You want back down? Okay, I'll get you back down.
Is it a male or female?
Both of my bunnies are male bunnies, and I got both of them neutered. When I got the second bunny, Dax, we thought that Dax was a female.
See it on your shirt.
Yeah, it's everywhere. But that's Tribble for you. Even like right after I groom him, 5 minutes later, I can pick him up and fur will just stick to me. He's a lion-headed Rex as far as the breed goes, and lion-headed bunnies are very, very fluffy, and they have like the hair grows around their head like a mane, and some can have a single mane where it's just the top. Some can have a double mane where it's on the top and around the neck and the chin. And he definitely has the double mane. It's not as thick as some of the other lion heads that I've seen, but yeah. And of course, being a goth person that wears all black most of the time, bunny fur sticks to me. So as soon as we're done talking, I've got a lint roller back there that I'm going to get all the fur off of me with.
Well, wrapping up, I do have one more question for you about the rabbit. Is it true that there's a certain way you're supposed to hold rabbits because their back legs are very thin?
Yeah, most rabbits don't like being held as a general rule. If they do, you have to make sure that their back legs are supported, because if their back legs aren't supported, they're going to do what is called bucking. They're going to try and get away from you so that they can get back to the ground, so they can have their feet planted on something firm and they can feel secure. But yeah, Tribble will let me hold him. Tribble's the more social one. Dax just doesn't really like to be picked up. He doesn't like to be held. He came from a pet store. Tribble didn't. Um, I'm guessing Dax was probably bred for snake food.
Yeah, great.
So no one did a lot of hand holding or like socialization at an early age. Like I said, when we got Dax, Dax was supposed to be a girl, and then we found out Dax was not a girl, he was another boy. And rabbits tend to pair off in male female pairs. That's how they bond. Though we have successfully bonded Dax and Tribble together. They're cute whenever they lay together, or they cuddle up to each other, or they groom each other. It's cute, but they're both neutered. Neutering the bunnies, or if you spay a female bunny, it prolongs their life, and they can live 12 years or so. So,
Well, while on the subject, one more thing I want to tell you. Did you
sure.
hear that thing that came out that it's inhumane to declaw animals and just... Well, I don't know about Spain. About declaw, do your rabbits have claws, or...
They do have claw. We have to trim their nails. Before my husband left, we actually trimmed both of their nails. We own a pair of clippers here. I would not get them declawed. I would not get a cat declawed. I would not get a dog declawed. I did recently, I think it was yesterday actually, that I saw that some state, I forget which state, passed a law that, or was trying to pass a law to make it illegal to declaw cats, because basically they're saying it's the same thing as cutting off the a human's finger at the knuckle where the nail is, and I mean, humans wouldn't want our first knuckles cut off of our fingers just so that we wouldn't grow fingernails anymore. I think it's a very valid thing that it probably really does hurt a cat, and then, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I don't know if I would take it to the point of making it illegal,
Right.
but I personally wouldn't do it. It's the same thing for many other political topics. Like, you might not agree with abortion. If you don't agree with it, don't do it. But don't stop somebody else from doing it, because they might have a very valid reason that it needs to be done.
No, absolutely. And, well, wrapping up, how can people follow you on... Well, wrapping up the interview segment, I just want to say it was a real honor and privilege to have you on the show. But, and the other question I was going to ask you, how can your fans follow you? Are you on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Stage32?
I wouldn't necessarily think that I have fans, but if someone did want to, I do have an Instagram account. It's Vampirus Hippie. The way I explain that, because so many people mispronounce that too. It's the word vampire with two S's, and then hippie is Hippy instead of IE. I'm a gothy person, but I do still love the look of the hippies. I love bell bottoms. I like tie-dyed stuff. It's very hard to find black and white or black and purple tie-dye, but whenever I do, I go nuts over it. So Vampirus Hippie is, you can look for me on Instagram. Same thing for Twitter. Also same thing for Facebook. And possibly LinkedIn as well. I know a lot of people are weird about putting oddities in with work because it's not professional. And I had someone tell me to take the email address that I use off of my resume and make a more professional one. And I said no, I wasn't going to do it because if someone wants to hire me, this is me.
Right.
I'm not gonna change. I've got purple hair, I wear dark makeup, I've got tattoos. I'm not going to change just to get the job. They're going to take me as I am. And most of the companies that I've worked for, the ones that I like best are the ones that looked at my email address or they looked at a picture of me and said, you know what, we want you because you're different.
No, absolutely. There's like people said that about my talk show too. It's not professional. It's not a real talk show. I'm trying to turn it into a talk show professional. It is professional. I talk about every interview is different. Right? It's like, oh, you can't put it on a resume. You can't put it on a job application. You can't mention it during interviews. Like, oh, tell us about yourself. What do you do in your free time? It's like, what, you want me to lie? And it's like, well, I sit in a room by myself. Well, I tell people the truth. Well, I have a talk show. Well, what's the talk show about? And sometimes, it's good, and sometimes they make a face about it. But, you can't please everyone. You are who you are, and, you can please most of the people all the time, but you can't please people all the time.
Right.
And people are hypocrites anyway.
Right.
With that being said, it was a real honor and privilege having you on the talk show, wrapping up this segment. And I'm looking forward to building a friendship with you.
You too. Thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me go off on my wild bunny rant tangents.